right. Welcome to the channel, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. Much love to you all. So this live stream, guys, is going to be a bit faster than normal. I'm actually going to jump right in for those watching on the replay. If anyone misses this, well, the reason I'm doing this is because my StreamYard only allows me to have 20 hours of streaming a month. So I'm less than an hour away from my streaming, the amount of streaming time I can have. So we're going to zoom through this decode pretty fast, and hopefully this decode is going to be under 35 minutes, 40 minutes. So yeah, anybody watching on the replay, just go back and watch on the replay. So anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Hello, Scott. Hello, Juan. Hello, Ray. Hello, Coffee Girl. Hopefully people are getting notifications. Right now it says there's only 7 people in the chat. Oh, there we got 24 now. Okay, good. Thank you guys for stopping in. Like I said, we're going to get through this fast. I only got about 40 minutes. So let's get into this. You guys all know what's going on in the news. Donald Trump, big theater, big trial theater, whatever. We know it's a theater, but what I'm going to show here is how all the events right now are what they're, I'm just going to show you guys how everything's synchronized with this current trial thing going on, and how JFK is involved, how the mafia, the Don, Robert De Niro. And yeah, we're going to go over this. So let's jump right into it. So on May 26th, guys, so a few days before the jury began on Trump's trial, there was an AEW wrestling show called Double or Nothing in Las Vegas at the MGM Grand. Okay. So this was all about money. Vegas, all about money, right? Trump's in a hush money trial. And Double or Nothing is abbreviated with hashtag AEW Dawn. You guys can see it circled down here in the red circle on the bottom. So they're telling you right there, guys, just 2 days or 3 days before the trial really kicks in for Trump, they have a show called AEW Dawn. Okay. And of course, that connects to the Mafia Don from the Godfather, and of course Donald Trump, right? So that's the first clear connection, right? Don't need a whole lot to understand that connection, okay? But after the show AEW Dawn, you had a girl wrestler come out and say after the event, and she was giving her her after the media event scrum, whatever they call it, and this girl's name is Toni Storm, guys. Toni Storm. And here's a quote from her from the video. She says, "Book, I'm looking for a publisher for my book. It's entitled A Storm is Coming." Can you guys believe it? After the show AEW Dawn, they have a girl come out by the name of Toni Storm. And she says her book that's coming out is called A Storm is Coming. And a storm is coming equals Donald Trump in the Jewish cipher, 589. Can you guys believe it? Remember, Donald Trump said that there's a storm coming back in 2017. And what's the chances? You have the dawn reference here, and then you have the storm reference at the very end of the show, and you have her saying the book is entitled A Storm is Coming, which matches Donald Trump in the Jewish cipher, okay? So again, there's two for two on how it's connected to Trump in this case, right? What are the chances, guys? This whole thing going on with Trump right now, and just 2 or 3 days before that, you have this show that's pointing directly to this case, right? Everything's scripted, right? And just so you guys know, the term Double or Nothing, which is abbreviated DON, like DON, is also connected to money and poker and betting, right? And Trump is in a trial for hush money, right? Like, it reminds you of this Vegas theme, this money theme. And I just wanted to put this up there so you guys understood that this is connected to the money, right? And again, here's from a couple days ago, it says, closing arguments that begun. This was from a few days ago, guys. This was from like May 27th or something. This was like one day. This was one day after this AEW Dawn event, AEW Dawn, right? So one day after this Toni Storm event here. But again, we're going to zoom through this pretty fast because also at the AEW Dawn event, the centerpiece on their cover is a girl named Mercedes Monet, like money, guys. And again, I told you that this show had a girl named Tony Storm, like Stormy Daniels is in the Hush Money case with Trump, right? So you have Tony Storm, and now you have the girl at the center of the poster. Her name is Mercedes Monet, like money. So Stormy Daniels and the Hush Money. You get it? So there's your money right in the center. And just notice that not only is her last name Monet, like money, right? But her first name, Mercedes, is a direct match in Gematria to money. Mercedes equals money, 72 in the same cipher. And if you guys read down there at the bottom, it says AEW Double or Nothing recap. Mercedes Monet is money. So this girl also is a cousin of Snoop Dogg. And remember, Snoop Dogg is famous for putting his gun in a video shooting a clown Trump, right? So what are the chances that his cousin is also connected to this AEW Dawn event? And again, she's all about money. Snoop Dogg is also always talking about money, right? So it gets even better, guys, because from the Stormy Daniels birthday, which happens to be on St. Patrick's Day, which is connected to luck, right? And the Celtics, the Boston Celtics, just advanced to the NBA Finals around this same time. And she's born on St. Patrick's Day, Stormy Daniels. And from her birthday to 5/28, which was when the trial basically went from being final statements, final judgments, to this day, it was 72 days, which again goes back to the money, right? I showed you here AEW Dawn with the money, Mercedes Monet, Mercedes equals money. And then 72 days after the Hush Money girl, Stormy Daniels, was 5/28, which is right before the jury started to, basically deliberate, right? So again, this girl is connected to Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg is her cousin, or his cousin, and again, Snoop Dogg also connected to Trump because he had that video pointing a gun at Trump. Okay. So look at this. Why do I think this number is important, right? So Trump said it's the calm before the storm speech on October 5th, 2017, which was the 278th day of the year. In the Francis Bacon cipher that I've been showing you guys in my prior videos, if you guys haven't checked that out, go back and watch those videos. In the Francis Bacon cipher, storm is coming equals 278. So Trump gave his storm is coming speech essentially on 278th day of the year. A storm is coming equals 278. The reply to Trump's storm statement was, "What storm, Mr. President?" And the phrase, "What storm, Mr. President?" also equals 278. And what storm were they talking about, guys? Years before this case even started, what storm were they talking about? They were talking about Stormy Daniels. And Stormy Daniels equals 278, like the day of the year that Trump said the storm is coming. Okay. So what are the chances? Again, look at all the 278s, the 278 day of the year. Okay. Stormy Daniels, 278. And to connect it to this AEW Dawn event, Double or Nothing stands for Dawn. AEW Double or Nothing equals 278. Again, like Stormy Daniels, like Storm is Coming, and adult film star, which is what they were calling her. So just notice Stormy Daniels equals adult film star. And again, this is in the Francis Bacon ciphers that I've been exposing how they're being used, okay? And again, this is proof, once again, that they're using these ciphers also, or that these ciphers are relevant, okay? So anyway, let's keep going. Now, this is where it gets crazy, guys. This is the top-notch info. I mean, this should be shared with everyone. This is so obvious, all right? So again, I told you AEW had the show called AEW DON, like Dawn, right? Double or Nothing, okay? And at that show, there was also a character named Don Callis. Don Callis, guys. And look at this. Don Callis to present a Don Callis family contract on 5/29. Do you guys understand this? The Don Callis family contract. This is a mafia reference. This is a JFK reference, right? JFK got the head wound. So yesterday, when the jury was deliberating on the Trump trial, this guy was offering a contract on AEW Dynamite. His name is Donald Callis. Okay. And look at his head wound, guys. Do you guys see this? Look at his head wound. Do you see the scar? Do you see the scar on his head? And do you know what the word callus means? Does anyone in the chat know what the word callus means? What happens when you get an injury? Okay. What happens after you get a cut or a deep wound? Okay. What happens, right? You get a callus. That's you understand? He has a head wound on his head. His name's Donald, and his name is Callis. And what happens after you get, again, a callus means skin hardening over a wound. Okay, so it's clear. Now look at what year this guy was born. Okay, first of all, he has the head wound. Okay, he was born in 1963, the same year JFK got the head wound. He was born 40 days before the head wound. And look, so he has his own head wound. JFK got his head wound, and he was born 40 days exactly before JFK's. And what does head wound equal? 40. What does death hoax equal? 40. Now, this guy used to play. Look at the names of this guy, this Don Callis. Look at the characters he used to play. Okay, this guys, this stuff is so undeniable. I'm breaking their codes. These WWE and AEW codes are being broken, man. Callis spent a majority of his career as Cyrus the Virus. Do you guys understand this? He spent a majority of his career as Cyrus the Virus, and he became international attention under the name the Jackal. What is what is a jackal? What is somebody? What is somebody that? What does the word jackal mean when you're talking about somebody? It's a person who performs a dishonest act. Okay, a jackal. His name used to be the Jackal. His name is Donald. His name used to be the Jackal. He's got a head wound like JFK. JFK's nickname was Jack. Jack. Do you understand? He's the Jackal. Jack Kennedy equals 40 in the same cipher as top secret perjury. So the word 40 is all connected to dishonesty, guys. Perjury, 40. Top secret, 40. Fiction, 40. Not honest, 40. Not true, 40. This guy plays a dishonest character, and he's born 40 days before JFK's death hoax, which equals 40, and there was a head wound, which equals 40. And again, Jack Kennedy, 40. Okay, what I'm showing you here, what I'm showing you here is undeniable. I should be getting so many more views than what I'm getting. Sometimes I get a bit frustrated because I'm showing you something, I'm showing you something that's so obvious that how can you deny this? 40 days before this event and death hoax equals 40 and head wound 40, Jack Kennedy, it all goes perfect, okay? And again, why was this guy offering a family contract on JFK's birthday yesterday? The same day that Donald Trump is in the courtroom on JFK's birthday. Okay, do you see the synchronicity? The reason I put Mercury in here is because Mercury is the trickster god, the dishonesty, right? Mercury, JFK is born under Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Donald Trump born under Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. So again, this is all about dishonesty. And it comes, again, this head wound is right here, okay? So obvious. And it gets even better, guys. Okay? It gets even better because how is Donald Trump connected to Don Callis? Well, he's connected with the 40 as well. That's because every year, Trump's birthday to Don Callis's birthday on the calendar is 4 months and 0 days. That's 40 again, guys. So all these connections to Don Callis and JFK with the number 40, okay? And now with Trump, okay? Trump and Don Callis born 4 months and 0 days apart, like 40. And 4 months and 0 days is 17 weeks and 3 days, which is the 40th prime number, 173, the 40th prime, okay? So again, Trump connected with the 40 to Donald Callis, right? And don't forget that the timeline of this trial started on April 15th, okay? Well, April 15th is the death date of Abraham Lincoln, the other president. And yesterday, the first day of the jury deliberation for this trial, the Trump trial, was on JFK's birthday. So from Abraham Lincoln's death date to JFK's birthday was 43 days, like assassination, right? 43. Both of these presidents, they got taken out with this word right here, 43 days from the beginning of the trial to JFK's birthday, deliberation, right? So again, perfectly synced up with these two presidents, okay? And this is where we go, okay, guys, I want you guys to understand something. I made this slide before the Don Callis contract I made this slide on 5/27 or 5/28. That was before the Don family contract was presented. Okay, so I want you to see how on point I was from making this slide 2 days before the 5/29 and what happens with the Don Callis contract on 5/29. You guys should have your jaws on the floor after what I'm about ready to show you. Okay, so here it is. 2 days before, I'm talking about this day, 5/29, the Don Callis contract. Okay. How did Orange Cassidy respond to Don Callis's contract on 5/29? This is the video from yesterday, guys. Well, who did he present his contract to? Would you guys believe it? He presents his contract to a guy named Orange. Orange? Are you guys understanding what I'm showing you right now? Trump is the orange man. And look, he's wearing the orange head on his shirt. You guys see the head wound again? The head, Donald Trump, the orange man. And Trump equals orange man. Okay? And orange man rips up the contract. So he denied the contract. Right? But guess what, guys? In the Godfather movies, the orange is a symbol for something as bad is about to come. Read it right here, guys. In all 3 Godfather films, when you see oranges, there is a death or a very close call coming up. Do you guys understand what I'm showing you? This is a Don Callis, the head of the Don Callis family, which is essentially a mafia reference. The Godfather is a mafia film with the Don in it. A death is coming. In the Godfather movies, it means an orange. A death is coming if you see oranges. And this guy, just last night's handing a contract to a guy named Orange. And Trump's the same day as Trump's trial. And Donald Trump equals Godfather and Orange Man. And wait till you see what happened after he tore up the contract. Remember, as soon as you see oranges, something bad happens. Well, what happens, guys? He gets the head wound. He gets the head wound. Do you guys understand this? I'm sorry I'm getting so animated, but there is no doubting this. And who gives him the head wound? A guy named Beretta. And Beretta is an Italian gunmaker. Boom, mic drop. He tears up, the orange guy tears up the contract on JFK's birthday. And then oranges in the Godfather movie means a death is coming. And then he gets a head wound. Do you guys see this? Orange gets a head wound. And he gets a head wound from Beretta. And Beretta is a gun. Beretta is a gun. An Italian gun, a mafia. And what does Trent Beretta equal? 148, like head wound, like Donald J. Trump. This is my best decode ever, guys. There's no doubt about it. I was looking at this before it even happened. Go ask Sean. I was telling Sean that this was going to happen before it happened with this. Like, again, let me go back to the slides I made a day before this even happened. Right here, I made this slide connecting a head wound and 5/29 with JFK, right? And then the Don Callis contract comes, and it goes to the orange man, and the orange man gets a head wound from a gun. Okay? Please share this, guys. Please share this and show this to people. Again, WWE and wrestling and AEW are giving the best clues, right? And this one's the most crazy one, right? And what are the chances that the guy who gives the head wound equals head wound? Look at this, 148, 148, you know? So again, I hope you guys, you know, I love wrestling because I love to decode it. Like, it's so fun for me to decode because they're archetypes. You guys understand what an archetype is? An archetype is exactly what we should be decoding. They give you these characters as archetypes. Again, I showed you. And don't forget, Jacob wrestled with God. You know, this wrestling is a huge connection there. But again, this is an archetype for Trump. This is all about Trump. And they're running these rituals parallel with the Trump trial. So again, there's nothing more obvious. And again, in the Godfather films, oranges means death is coming. And then he gets his head wound, right? So just so much to talk about here, like with this head wound. But let's also let's keep going. So I just showed you in the last slide that it was connected to the 148. Trent Beretta 148, head wound 148, Donald J. Trump 148, right? Well, look at this. What if I told you that when Trent Beretta was born, the guy who means gun, okay, the Italian gun, Beretta, what if I told you that when Trent Beretta was born, okay, Donald Trump was 14899. That means, guys, he was 14899 or 14900. Do you guys understand what I'm showing you right now? May 29th is normally the 149 day of the year. All of this happened with Trent Beretta on the 149, on the day that's normally the 149 day of the year. Okay? And Trent Beretta was born exactly 4,900 days after Trump, which also is on the verge of 148. And I just showed you that Donald Trump, Trent Beretta equals 148, you know? Like, and somehow this is so perfect, right? 149, 148, right on the precipice. It's so perfect. So again, I find this after I talk. When I do decodes, guys, I go in order, right? So I find these 148s connections before I even look into Trent Beretta and Donald Trump's connection. And what's the chances that it comes up with 148.99 right on the very last day of his 148? You know, like, it's just insane. Okay. And how about this? Trent Beretta, the guy who gives the orange man a head wound last night, he's born on March 30th. Well, March 30th was the same day the Trump trial started last year. You guys remember that? March 30th, 2023. The Trump thing started, right? And then this guy just happens to be born on the opening day of it. That's his birthday, March 30th. Come on now. That's again perfect. And now we have to go. Remember, I made this whole connection to the Godfather films, right? Orange Cassidy, the Orange Man, he gets Trump equals Orange Man, Donald Trump equals Godfather. In the Godfather films, who plays the Godfather in the Godfather 2? Do you guys know who that is? This is why this connects even more, guys, to the mafia. Because who played the Godfather in the Godfather 2? Does anyone know? Yeah, you're right, guys. It was Robert De Niro. And what was Robert De Niro doing, you know, in the last couple days? Well, Robert De Niro, who played the Don in the Godfather movies, he was saying that Trump could destroy the world. Okay, and I made this separately, but look at this, guys. Notice this headline. Robert De Niro says Trump could destroy the world outside of Manhattan court. And immediately when I read this, I thought of Robert Oppenheimer saying, "Now I have become death, destroyer of worlds." And he was part of the Manhattan Project. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? Robert Oppenheimer, destroy the world, Manhattan, all connected to this incident. Okay. The Manhattan Project, J. Robert Oppenheimer, the destroyer of worlds, all connected. And remember, guys, Donald Trump is born 333 days after the Trinity test, which was part of the Manhattan Project. Guys, what time? Shoot, I forgot even about this. What time was the oh my goodness, guys, I totally forgot this. Look at what time the Trinity test was. Do you guys understand what I'm showing you? Robert De Niro makes a reference to Destroyer of Worlds and the Trinity test and the Manhattan Project. And Trump was on court on 5/29. Look at what time the Trinity test happened, guys. 5:29 a.m., July 16th. 333 days later, Donald Trump was born. And why is the 333 important? Because Trinity means three, okay? So you have a trinity of threes here, you see? So it's perfect. Trinity means three, and you have three threes. So it's the perfect a number of days to be born after this. And how about Robert De Niro? Why is Robert De Niro being used to say that Trump will destroy the world when it connects to the Trinity test? Well, because how many days before the Trinity test was Robert De Niro born? He was born 1 year, 333 days. So Trump born 333 days after the Trinity test, and Robert De Niro born 1 year, 333 days before the Trinity test. Okay? And again, why is the 333 important? Because it's three threes, the Trinity, right? Perfect. And now, guys, I posted this in my community section, but here's the Trump trial. Okay, here's the Trump trial from yesterday. This is a huge find. I don't know if anyone else found this, but look at this. Trump says, okay, so look at the time, guys. The jury began deliberating yesterday on 5/29 at 11:29 a.m. Okay, 11:29 a.m. they start deliberating, right? 11:29 is the 189th prime number. The word deliberate equals 189. What are the chances, guys? Why didn't they just choose 11:30? Why 11:29? Because 11:29 is the 189th prime, and the word deliberate equals 189. And wouldn't you believe that from yesterday when they started to deliberate on JFK's birthday, 189 days backwards is JFK's death anniversary? How perfect. So they start deliberating on JFK's birthday at 11:29, which is the 189 prime, deliberate 189. But if you go 189 days back, you land on his death date, which is, and look, someone wrote a book called America's Last President. What the world lost when it lost JFK, which is a big load of crap, we know, but I mean, still, America's last president 189. JFK was shot in Dealey Plaza, which just happens to equal 189. Okay, so see how perfect this is, guys? Even down to the minute, this reality is coded. Okay, 11:29 connects to 189, which connects to all this JFK stuff and Trump stuff. It's too perfect. And here's just another proof of this. Do you guys remember the show House of Cards and how Kevin Spacey is paralleled? Because in the show he's known as Francis J. Underwood, kind of like Donald J. Trump, right? Francis Joseph Underwood. Okay. Also, Frank equals Donald, and Frank is the name of the bunny of the rabbit in Donnie Darko. Okay. So, anyways, this connects heavily to Donald Trump. And this House of Cards is kind of what's going on right now with Trump. His House of Cards is crumbling, right? But look at this. I just showed you all the 189 connections with yesterday. 11:29 a.m. is when they started, which is the 189th prime, right? And if you go back to the very last episode, well, first of all, if you type in the name of the president in this movie, if you type in just his first and last name, it equals 189. Francis Underwood, 189. Okay, this is the big number I just showed you here with yesterday. Okay, and again, 11:29 is the 189th prime. When did the last episode of this show end? It ended on 11/2/18. Well, in numerology, you take the number 11 because it's a master number. You don't add it, so you get 11, 2, and 1 plus 8 is 9. 11:29. Again, 11:29, the 189th prime number. Francis Underwood, 189. Okay, and again, More perfect 189 connections. But what happens if you go from the House of Cards final episode on 11/9, 11/29, the 189th prime, and you go forward to yesterday's court thing? Would you guys believe it? Look at this. If you measure from this last episode to yesterday, it was 5 years, 209 days, like 529. The date was 529. And not only that, guys, if you measure it in weeks, you get 29/5, like the date 295. Or if you measure it in years and weeks, you get 529. How is it so perfect that from this show's end to this thing on 529 was a measurement that breaks down to 529 in 3 different ways? You see this? And the date was 529. Like, that's so perfect. And to be honest with you guys, that's all I have. That's the last slide I have. But the reality is, I think I've shown enough in this to show you. I mean, you guys already know it's all scripted, but it's all synchronized, right? And again, the biggest part of this decode to me is, what are the chances that the orange man yesterday on the same day gets the head wound after tearing up the contract, right? And again, guys, this is the big point to be made. In the 3 Godfathers films, oranges mean a death is coming, okay? And again, Orange Cassidy gets a head wound yesterday, the same day Trump, the orange man, is in the court, is waiting to be judged, right? So, I mean, again, this stuff is mind-blowing, and I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, I can't make this stream too long because I only have an hour left on my streaming for the month for StreamYard. Otherwise, I have to pay for it, and I don't really want to do that. So, yeah, the point is big stuff, guys. I would appreciate if you guys share this. Yeah, and you know what? XX is saying DT is wearing a silicone mask. Yeah, well, how did I start this whole decode? How did I start this whole decode off with you guys? Let me just make this point real fast. How did I start this whole decode off? I told you, okay? I told you that AEW Double or Nothing was titled AEW Dawn, like Dawn, right? Okay. What does that stand for, guys? Double or nothing? Couldn't that mean a body double? If Trump does indeed get a fake head wound, could it not be a body double? And then they're going to say that he was resurrected, like Jurassic always says, right? So why do you think they connected double or nothing? A body double, you think? AEW Dawn, a double or nothing Dawn, right? So again, I agree with you all. You guys don't need to convince me. Everyone's always trying to convince me, I think, that these people are all like body doubles and they're not even what they seem to be. Of course they're not. I feel like in my community, I don't even need to say that anymore. So that's why I don't say it. But I agree with you guys. I don't think that I think these people are wearing masks. I think there could be doubles of them. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. So, but yeah, big stuff to think about, guys. I mean, this is just like really mind blowing to me. So hopefully you guys liked it. I only got 54 likes. Can you guys please hit the like button if you're still in the chat? And I've got 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, guys, I have 5 minutes to hang out with you guys. So hold on. And then I have to get off here. So if you guys would please hit the like button before you head out, I really appreciate that. Only 54 likes right now. But let me go to the comments. Let's see if any of you guys have anything to say. Yeah, good point. Someone's saying orange is the new black. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget, guys, orange is the only color that equals 33, right? So orange is the only color that equals 33, and you have this orange ritual with Donald Trump, right? Orange getting the head wound. And yeah, so that's a good point about the orange. Yeah, there's something to look into is the Tupac thing. Oh, that's a good connection. Georgie is saying that Godfather Donald Trump equals 222. Wow, interesting. Let's see. Yeah, I really just don't. I really just like. I don't like to argue about whether these are doubles or not. I'm just decoding the rituals, guys. I honestly don't care if they're doubles or they're not, because to me, it's just about decoding the numbers and the rituals. I mean, that's just how I see it. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I mean, I let people see it how they want it. So yeah, that's a good point. Catherine says orange reminds me of Halloween. Well, that's a good point because let me just show something real fast. Why is Halloween connected to head wounds and Donald Trump, right? Well, Halloween equals 148, right? Like head wound, 148. Like Donald J. Trump, 148. Like his book called The Art of the Deal equals 148. I told you last night that Trent Beretta gave the orange man a head wound. Trent Beretta, if I can remember how to spell that. Trent Beretta, 148. So it's a good connection to bring up the orange and its connection to Halloween, right? Because if Halloween really does remind us of orange, then there could be. Oh, and I forgot the word Abaddon. Abaddon equals 148. So again, guys, here we go. Head wound, 148. Halloween, 148. Halloween's associated with orange. Donald J. Trump, 148. His book, The Art of the Deal, 148. Trent Beretta, who gave the orange man a head wound yesterday on TV, 148. And of course, a bad dawn. This whole decode was about dawn, a bad dawn, like a mafia boss, 148. Okay. So that's a good point. And the 148th day of the year, yeah, Abaddon is a wrestler. There is a wrestler named Abaddon, actually, if you guys believe it. Let me just look her up real fast. Hold on. Let's see. I'll just show you guys this because he brought this up. Wrestler Abaddon. This person is freaky, guys. Look at this person. This is a woman. Well, supposedly a woman. But, I mean, look at that. So this is another wrestler who's also in AEW. Okay. So you guys understand AEW has Don Callis, Orange Cassidy, all these people I brought up today. Okay. All these people I brought up today are in AEW, not WWE. But anyway, Abaddon, it's not spelled like with the two D's, but still, Abaddon. And this is how she dresses, or he or she dresses. I mean, look at this. And yeah, she's wearing the orange here. Orange. Yeah, I mean, look at this girl here, and then look at what she looks like when she dresses up. I mean, this is just creepy. This is really creepy, to be honest. Ugh. Anyways, thanks for pointing that out. What's the connection to Trump to Taxi? Well, I didn't get a chance to look into Robert De Niro, and because you guys know how Robert De Niro was in the Taxi, right? Robert De Niro, and there's probably a connection because again, I just told you Robert De Niro played the Don in The Godfather, right? So, anyways, yeah, guys, I got to get off. Can't stay on too much longer. It's been 40 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't do much longer because of my streaming limit. But thank you guys so much. Please hit the like buttons on your way out. I really appreciate that. I think this decode was spot on. Maybe you guys don't think so, but if you do think so, please hit the like button. And if you guys want to support the channel, My link is support link is at the top of this chat. Buy me a coffee, Decoding with Cody. And as always, I really appreciate all of you guys. And thank you guys so much for everything, for all you guys do to support the channel, hitting the like button. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.